I'm here live with the Director of Recruiting Research and Strategy at Auburn University, Mr. Kenyatta Watson, here on the 5-Star Flex. Ken, what's going on, big dog?
What's up, baby? How you?
Man, I'm good, man. Man, so first and foremost, where does the Kenyatta Watson story start? Like, we all know about what you're doing on the recruiting trail, but where does your story start?
Ooh, man, started the Gwinnett Chargers, just to give you the short version of it. Started
Right.
a first travel to one of the very first travel teams out of the state of Georgia, the Gwinnett Chargers. And just had a passion for, football, man, developing kids, wanting to see kids get into college and opportunity to live out their dreams. And it kind of grew and had an opportunity with, Under Armour, doing the camps and different things like that. Started doing my own camps. And then, got that call from Mike Norvell and got into college, and here we are.
Man, so right now, Auburn is top 3 in the country when it comes to recruiting classes. All right. They're the only school that has a record like 2-4 that's recruiting at that type of level. What's the secret?
Relationships. I tell people this all the time. You can say whatever you want. You still got to have genuine, true relationships. You could talk about money. You could talk about all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, we're building it the right way. It's genuine relationships. A lot of these kids we've known for a very long time, and those relationships that's what it is. I know it sounds crazy and people are like, oh, they're paying all this money and doing all this stuff. I can promise you that's not it, bro. And when you build genuine relationships, and then the kids see, if you watch us play through our first 6 games, we've been in every game. Even the Georgia game, we were right there. Not only that, we're playing a lot of young kids, and everybody's just kind of figuring it out. But we're in the games. We're playing tough. We're playing competitive. We're in the games. A few mistakes here and there, and we'll be 5-1. At the end of the day. So I think a lot of recruits are seeing an opportunity that they'll get to come here. Coach Freeze is doing a magnificent job, man. Specifically with the personnel department, he's letting us, really do our thing. I just want to give a shout out to those guys: Will Redmond, TJ, all those guys, Grant, Tim, AK, all the guys in the personnel department, man, working hard, being diligent, and we're finding the right kids that fit what Auburn University wants to do. And so that's the biggest thing right there. It's just we building the genuine relationships, and man, we relentless back there, bro. People can say what they want to say. I'm on this phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Recruiting never stops. You got to recruit or die. And we have found a really good nucleus of guys that are about the right things. We're on the same page as far as evaluations, and we just, we locked in on the right kids.
So as Director of Recruiting, Research, and Strategy, what does a day look like for you?
Go find dudes.
Right.
Go find dudes. Finding kids. Most importantly, well, let me back up. The most important thing is, you got to recruit your own roster every day. I don't care what anybody says. You got to recruit your own roster every day. But again, it goes back to those relationships. So just, having a genuine, good relationship with the kids that are currently on our roster, and then talking to our current commits, guys that we're recruiting. Just stand on those guys, man. Let them know, like, don't get discouraged by anything. You see what's going on. You see the progress week to week. Here's where you fit. And the beauty about it, man, it's like, they get an opportunity to see, hey, I fit here, or I could have made that play, or I will make that play. And so when it's tangible and you can really, really, really like touch it, see it, feel it, and like I can see myself doing this again. But really, man, it's just grinding every day, finding kids, talking to the kids, talking to the parents, most importantly, because at the end of the day, everybody's doing their thing. You still got to be able to have that relationship with the parents. Me being a parent, having a son that's in it right now, having a younger son that's going to be in it, my kind of process with the parents is a little different than anybody else. It's pretty unique. So when I talk as a parent, it's not talking as what I think is going to happen. I'm telling you what either has happened or what will happen. And so that really has been like amazingly beneficial.
A lot of times I get tagged when people commit to Auburn, like, 'cause I used to cover the Auburn beat. So still a lot of times when people get Auburn offers, they tag me. And the name that I see almost every time when somebody tags me is Kenyatta Watson. Like, what are you doing? Like everybody is like these kids. And when I'm talking to them, when I'm talking to the recruits, they're saying, "Oh yeah, Coach Watson, Coach Watson." What do you think is different about your approach that endears you to these recruits that's helping keep this class together?
So I don't wait until the services rank the kids 4 and 5 stars. Part of my history, going back a few years, I was doing middle school camps all around the city. Man, I was having kids from 23, 25 different states show up. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these kids, we'll look at the class that just graduated that are currently freshmen in college. The last big middle school camp that I had at Georgia Tech, you got to remember I had Cam Davis,
Mm,
nobody knew about. KJ
right.
Bolden, nobody knew about. I had all these kids that were all these young kids that attended my camp then that are now playing football in college, and they doing their thing, man. So everybody's blessed with a talent. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
blessed with their own talent. My talent that I'm blessed with, man, is identifying talent at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
These guys it's just been working. And so again, I'm finding these guys, you know, recruiting them, recruiting their parents, finding out who the instrumental people are in their recruiting, man, and building those definite relationship with those kids, man, and just trying to do everything I can to just the right way. Just again, and when you're talking to parents, they have legitimate questions that I can answer that a lot of people in this business cannot answer because of my experience of going through it as a parent, both good and bad, and
Mm-hmm.
having a younger son that's currently in this NIL space right now that's being recruited. And so that has also helped tremendously as well.
What can you say about Auburn's atmosphere that's different than anywhere else you've been? I mean, you had a son that played at Texas. You worked at Florida State. Son also played at Georgia Tech. Like, what is different about Auburn's atmosphere that's different than anything else you've seen?
It's the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, just the city of Auburn itself, man, has been just amazing. Like
Yeah.
I still have my house in Grayson, and I go back home, and man, I find myself missing Auburn when I'm back home. And it's just
Mm.
like the people are genuine, the fans are genuine. They love Auburn football, and it's a great thing. And I haven't experienced it yet, but I will when we're at the top. I can only imagine, but it's just genuine true love for Auburn football, the fan base, and man, we working diligently every day to give these people what they're looking for in a really good, great product of Auburn football.
All right, so I got to ask you this. What do you feel like is your position specialty where you know that nobody, and I'm saying it all, like you recruit it all, but if you have
Right,
one position that you know that your evaluation is going to be top tier over anybody else, what position group would that be?
got to be wide receivers because I
Okay.
play wide receiver, so
Okay.
I know what it's supposed to look like, feel like, smell like, act like, the whole deal. So, but I've been pretty successful at pretty much every position. But I say wide receiver, DB are my two favorites.
All right. So for those two positions, what are the top three things you're looking for in a receiver? And conversely, what are the top three things you're looking for in a DB?
Height, weight, speed.
Yeah.
Hey, people try to fool with the formula. You can do all of that you want. There are always obviously outliers and guys that are not the biggest, not the fastest, not the strongest. But again, when you go back and really break it down and look at it, it's height, weight, speed. You look for guys like, so when I find a young kid, for instance, and I always use Andrew Booth as my example because he was a kid that he was my youth quarterback all the way through with the Gwinnett Chargers. Ninth grade, he was 5'5". He had this little
Mhm.
squeaky voice. Coach, am I ever gonna grow? Am I ever gonna grow? Fast forward 2 years, this Joker 6'1" and a straight dog.
Right.
So again, but he had elite movements. He could, I mean, he could make you miss in a phone booth.
Yeah.
He was a very smart football player. So you look at kids like that young, and you say, okay, he doesn't have the height, weight, speed. Obviously, he's 9, 10 years old, but he has elite movements and an understanding for the game. And you can see that in the way that the kids play. Just like a lineman. I use my kid, Wanye Morris, who's like my son. Wanye was always a big kid, but the thing that you notice with most big kids, can they bend at the waist? He could bend at
Mhm.
the waist. He had a flat back. He would fire off the ball, and he was really good at it with his hands. I told Wanye, I told his mom, like, he was like 11 years old. I said, oh, he's playing in the NFL. She looked at me like, I said, watch what I tell you. Because he had a
Mm.
good base, he flat back, he would fire off, he would use his hands, and most importantly, he was coachable. And then he had the size. So, but it ain't that hard to tell, man. People play around with it. I know what I like. I know what I'm looking for, and it's been very successful.
When you look at Auburn's class, and I know we can't speak on it in specifics, but in the years past, the Achilles heel for Auburn's recruiting has been the offensive line. This year, that doesn't seem to be the issue. How do you feel about what you guys are doing in order to bring in that type of talent to this line? Are you looking for something different in the years past? Are you started earlier? What's the difference in this offensive line class than we've seen in previous years?
You know, our O-line coach, Jake Thornton, young guy,
Yeah.
has a lot of experience.
Mhm.
And when I got here, man, he was just like, hey, this is what we're looking for. These are the type of guys we're looking for. And just having an opportunity to kind of see spring ball and see his coaching style and, and then being in this league. Like I tell everybody, I was in the ACC at Florida State, Georgia Tech, really good league. The difference in the SEC is up front, and it's the size of these human beings that are big, fast, and that's running around. You better go find big people that will move other big people off the ball in order to be successful in this league.
Man, Kenyatta, I love it, man. I appreciate it. Awesome interview. Where can everybody find you and what you do?
You can find me on X, Twitter, whatever it's called, at TheRealKWAT, at the real KY. I really much that's pretty much the only form of social media that I really frequent. But you'll see
Okay.
me on there representing these Auburn Tigers.
Man, before we get out of here, last thing. Give a message to the Auburn faithful and what they can expect for the rest of the year.
I think y'all gonna be surprised what you see these next last 6 games of the season. I know it sounds really cliche-ish, but like I said, I'm here every day. And the most impressive thing that I've been able to witness is, we're 2-4 right now. You say, dang, like, are the kids gonna quit? The kids are working even harder than they did before. The coaches are working even harder than they did before. So you see it, man. It's only a matter of time. Like, we haven't gotten any breaks through the first 6 weeks of the season. I think these next 6 games, you're gonna really see a different you just see a difference in Auburn football. So stick with us. We're recruiting at an elite level, and it's gonna get better. Believe me when I tell you, it's gonna get better. We got a few more tricks up our sleeve. Just watch and see. But
Right.
just everybody's working. Everybody's rowing in the same direction, man. Coach Freeze has done an amazing job with his staff, from top to bottom. Everybody everybody still believes, and so we just working, man. We just working. So stay locked in with us. Stay locked in with us.
Man, love it, man. See you soon, bro.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Man, talk to me about why you chose Auburn. You came from Arkansas State, had a really productive year last year, but you chose Auburn in the portal. Why Auburn?
Auburn stuck out me to more than others because just the head man, Hugh
Yeah.
Freeze, just learning like his background and knowing where he came from. He first started off at Briarcrest. That's where I attended my 11th grade year and 12th grade year. So I feel like we had like a similar path. And then he was a head coach at Arkansas State. And then so I happened to be there as well. And then I thought it was only right to come join the squad and just actually give them an opportunity and listen to just the platform they have for me, just as far as me and developing.
What's it been like playing in the SEC, man? Big time football. How's it been?
It's big boy ball. I will say that, and I feel like there's a margin that's the biggest thing. There's a margin of error to make in this league, and one mistake will cause a loss. So like that's more eye opening because in the Sun Belt you can mess up more than once and you still got an opportunity to bounce back. But one mistake in the SEC, like they coming.
Right. So how's your transition been? I think you came from, but previously you had your hand in the dirt more. Now you're in more of a stand-up role. How's that transition been for you?
I feel like it's an eye opening because it's allowing me to see my flaws and see what I need to get better at. So
Yeah.
I'm taking that as a personal criticism and just fixing my own flaws.
So the season hasn't been going how you guys have wanted it to, but it seems like you guys are like very, very close to like taking off. What's the mood been like during the bye week and how you guys are sticking together?
That's one thing I would say our defensive coordinator has always preached that is sticking together with adversity. So I feel like we in more adversity than any other college football team right now because if you watch our film, like we got guys flying around making hard hits, like just making an impact on the game. But we just struggling on the offensive side, which I know we can get better at on the next half of our season. So we're just sticking together because we know what we're capable of.
All right, so next week, y'all got a tough game against Missouri. What's the battle cry right now? What are you guys saying to each other?
we look at them as no different than other teams. So I mean, we know what they're capable of. We know they got a good back and they got a great wide receiver. So the biggest game plan is to shut them down.
Right.
And I feel like we definitely can do that.
So you come to Auburn, like you went to Arkansas State. You from Memphis. Who on that team that have you kind of built the relationship with that helped you kind of adjust to the transition to Auburn?
I say the guys in that room, more of Keldrick Falk, Jalen McLeod, our young bucks, Amaris Williams, Joe Phillips, DeMonte. Like that whole position room, I've grown and just gelled with them because I understand the brotherhood that just because of me coming as a transfer, they open me with welcome arms, so I can't do nothing but respect them.
Talk to me about the season that Keldrick Falk is having and how excited your room is for his success.
Oh my gosh, he on another level right now. We preaching him. We praising him right now because he doing the unthinkable right now, and he's setting a name for himself. And I feel like he's definitely one of the names that's, as far as next year look ahead, not right now. Like he's definitely gonna be a first round pick, no doubt.
That's what he's looking like right now. Now, talk to me about some of the younger guys that you saw when you got there. So it hasn't been that long since you were a freshman. And you can turn around and say, man, dang, man, these guys, this is how these freshmen are coming in. How was it when you got there? You saw the type of freshmen that Auburn was bringing in.
When I first got there, my first person I remember seeing was Amaris Williams. And he was 6'3", 280. And bulk. I was like, he can't be no freshman. So, like, once I first saw him, I was calling my boys at Arkansas State, like, man, this man can't be no freshman. Like, this man is 6'3", 280 and moving. Yeah. So I feel like just it's the guys they recruit in the SEC. They come in looking like a senior in the Sun Belt.
Nah, you're right. So now go ahead.
That's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
No, absolutely. So I know the season ain't going how you guys wanted to, but what's been your funnest or your most memorable experience since you've been at Auburn so far?
I'd say my first home game, just seeing the experience and the crowd. I didn't have a great game against like our first opponent, but like I was enjoying the moment because I mean it's my first SEC game and I was amazed. So I love like seeing how the crowd engaged, the lights, the video before the game, like the songs, like all that. I had to embrace it because it's the only time I'm gonna be able to play football at this moment right now. So we're not promised another day. So I got to cherish every moment I'm on the field.
All right. So Auburn has one of the top recruiting classes in the country coming in to help you guys out. Yeah. What are you doing to try to help Auburn keep that class together?
Basically, we gotta bring the young guys along. We just gotta keep them on our wing side and just let them know the do's and the don'ts. Because I feel like majority of freshmen that come in, they think they got it made because it's a powerhouse. But you also got to realize there's another guy trying to take your spot. You just gotta be humble.
Right.
So any young guy that we got coming in, we're gonna humble him.
Right. Nah, man, I love to hear it, man. Like that big brother effect, right? Where you bring guys in.
That's all that is. I feel like the guys that I had in front of me at Arkansas State, they definitely humbled me a lot because I had to stand up for myself as a senior to another senior because I just wasn't going. But my coach realized I had that dog in me,
right?
And was like, Keyron, just go on about your day.
Yeah. So I keep hearing that about you. Like you got that dog. Like you really got a dog in you, bro. Like where does that come from? Like where do you think that sense of like just being a straight up dog? Where does that come from?
My pops got shot outside our house when I was 7 years old, and just seeing my mom like take the pops role and like just make sure me and my brothers and sisters had everything we need. So I always had to cherish that and like bring that anger inside of me. I had to let that out when I hit the field.
Man, that's a heck of an answer. Man, RIP to Pops, and man, shout out to Moms for handling her business the way she did and raising a great young man. Keyron, where can everybody find you on social media?
I am Keyron. You
Okay.
can hit me on Instagram, Facebook, with all.
All right, man. Keyron, I appreciate it, man. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Appreciate you.
All right, for sure.